This is Grace from Brock, and welcome back as we talk about OSAP and when it isn't enough to cover school costs in our latest episode of FinTips, sponsored by First Ontario Credit Union. With us today is Kelly Taylor McNeil. Kelly is a branch manager with the Scott Street location of First Ontario Credit Union and a Brock alumni. She has several years of experience in the financial services industry and giving back to the community. So thank you so much for joining us today, Kelly.
Thanks for having me.
So I just wanted to chat today about OSAP, and for many students, this is one of the top ways that they're able to pay for their university education.
So yes, OSAP, the Ontario Student Assistance Program. So it's for post-secondary students, full-time, to cover books, tuition, any school fees, equipment, or even living expenses. Those that are full-time and part-time with children, it can also cover child expenses.
Oh, wow.
The program is a government and provincial program. So there are grants and loans. Grants are money that you don't have to pay back. Loans are money that you do have to pay back. The great part is you don't have to start paying back the loans until you're done being a full-time student, and they've actually changed the income threshold. So it's gone up from $25,000 to $40,000. So what that means, Grace, is when you are making $40,000, that's when you start paying back the loan. So additionally, the cap on monthly affordable payments has gone from 20% to 10% of your monthly household income. This is considerably lower, and the government feels that this will make payments more affordable for families.
That's great. And can every student apply for OSAP?
So the program is open to Ontario students, those that are Canadian citizens, permanent residents, or protected persons. It is important to know that you do have to apply every year. They will take a look at your income. They also will ask for the income of your parent or guardian if you're living with them, which can be found on their taxes. It is important to apply even if you feel like you will not get OSAP, because the grants are part of this application.
And what can students do when OSAP might not be enough to cover their studies?
Can happen. It's important to plan and budget. So you want to make sure you know how much everything is going to cost, how much money you have coming in, and where your shortfall is. There are many ways you can look at getting some help, possibly from family, if your guardian or your parent has put money into an RESP. You could also take a look at bursaries and scholarships, both internally and externally. Brock offers a number of scholarships to students, and it's important to take a look at those and go on to Brock's website to determine what you can apply for. Also take a look outside of the university. Many cities have different clubs and places that will offer bursaries and scholarships. Take a look at your parent or guardian's workplace. Places such as First Ontario Credit Union do offer scholarships to students. And then you also want to take a look at maybe doing a part-time job. So if you go on to Career Zone, Brock does have postings for internal jobs. And then there's also part-time jobs out in the community. There are lots of jobs available, especially through the summertime for students. And in a place like this, we have tourism and farms and lots of different places that could offer a job. The other thing you can do is borrow money.
Okay.
So when we're taking a look at borrowing money, there are really two options. You can get a line of credit or a loan. So a line of credit gives you revolving money. So what that means is if you were to say get a $10,000 line of credit through your financial institution, you use $3,000 of it, you would only have to pay back that $3,000, and you would only pay interest on the money that you're used. So in this case, the $3,000. A loan is a lump sum. So when you take out a loan, you are given that lump sum of $10,000.
Right.
You would have to pay back that full amount plus any interest on the $10,000.
Okay, and is there anything that I should know about the interest on a student line of credit?
Yeah, so the interest is sometimes lower.
Okay.
So it could be lower on the line of credit than the government loans.
Okay, well that's good.
But you do have to start paying the interest as soon as you use the money. So with the government loans, there's a grace period, as we had talked about. When you start using your money on your line of credit, you do have to pay the interest right away.
Okay, and is it easy to apply?
Yeah, there's a process. So what you need to do is contact your financial institution and find out what it is they need from you. Often they will take a look at your income, your debt, and your ability to be able to pay back that loan. They will ask for confirmation of your registration in post-secondary. Usually you'll need a document showing that you are registered, what type of program, full-time or part-time, with your name on it. They can ask for a co-borrower, so that's someone who would sign on to the loan with you. In case you're unable to make those payments, they have that guarantee of someone else. The best thing to do is call your financial institution, talk to them, and find out what the parameters are and how they can help you out.
For sure. And what are some options for international students, let's say, who might need to borrow money?
Unfortunately, someone who is on a study permit is not eligible for bank or government student loans. If they are applying for landed immigrant status and are accepted, they may be eligible for a student loan at that time from their financial institution. There are definitely scholarships available for international students, and I encourage you to take a look at the One app, which opens on August 1st and closes on October 15th. There are also other scholarships and bursaries available on websites such as yonic.com and scholarshipscanada.com. Take a look also at the government website, as our federal government may have something available to you. As always, though, I encourage students to talk to the financial aid office or their financial institution for other options.
So thank you so much, Kelly, for sharing all of your expert advice with us and sharing all of the many ways that we have as students to be able to cover the costs of our education. As always, I encourage everyone, if you have any personal finance questions or topics you'd like us to cover in future podcast episodes, to please email your ideas to communications@firstontario.com. So thank you so much for joining us today on this episode of FinTips, Kelly.
Thank you for having me.